live. Oh, he said we may not need to do the law. I'm sending you a message, Bev.
It's all work in progress.
It is. Let me. I mean, I can go into my dummy account.
Yeah, we can still go live. I dial all the time without sharing a screen.
Okay.
The volume is still going to be there. I promise that.
Lovely. I am gonna go live now, guys.
I think it already is. I got the red lights. Oh, it's recording.
It's recording.
Okay, I'm not typing in a chat, so I didn't misspell nobody's last name. Somebody is misspelling their name. Oh, yes, T-O-O-U-Z. Priceless. You type like I do. That just proves that we're human. That's all that proves. I'm like, I was so grateful whenever I was coaching with a company, and one of the head coaches, he was just all over the place, and he would chase squirrels all the time in the middle of a conversation. And so he would be up on the stage and he would be delivering. He'd be like, I just forgot what I was talking about. It's out in left field somewhere. It'll go around the room. And I'm like, oh my God, I'm totally normal. There's nothing wrong with me. Are we live?
I don't think so. It's not letting me click. It's not letting me connect.
Well, I guess it was created as a webinar because of the way we're in. So I'm not sure.
I can click on it. I might have to go back into the settings.
All right, tick, tick, tick.
Let's just have you.
Nina said it's live. But I don't know if she means live webinar or live Facebook.
Oh. Let's have a look. See. No, I don't see it on Facebook.
Not live on Facebook yet.
I'm wondering if it's connected to Addo's account on Facebook.
That might not be the Addo. That could be it. That could be it.
Right, let me.
Well, I can still be talking. When we go live, we just go live because the webinar is being recorded, so it'll be posted anyway.
Yes, so go ahead. I'll try to figure out on my own.
All right, well, we're going to get the party started. All right, so what are we dialing today? What's happening? What's going on? I can't share my screen, computer, you got to love the issues. So if you remember in previous webinars, we had talked about just cleaning up messes and really what we should be trashing and shouldn't be trashing. And Aaliyah, you're always in the hot seat. I'm so sorry. But whenever I opened up the priority 3 call filter, I was just so geeked out. I was like, oh my God. I don't know, it was over a month ago. I went into the trash and I pulled anybody over that had at least a good phone number or a good email, or we just didn't know, it was the unknown, right? I moved them all back. And the one thing that I think we were all unsure of is when you move them back, well, let's back up. When you move your leads to trash, it automatically turns off their updated searches that are automatically going out. When we pulled them back into active, we were unsure if it was going to automatically turn them back on. Well, it did. The way that we have built the priority 3 filter, it is for us to not to have to think about our priority leads that we should be calling. So this filter that I'm dialing today are all the leads that registered 15 or more days ago that have actively been looking over the last 30 days. And when I say actively been looking, that means that they have opened up an email, they have logged in, it's noted in the system that they're engaged with their updated searches that are coming through. So whenever I went to this filter and I clicked on it, there are 54 leads that have not been called within the last 7 days, because we like to call these every 7 days. And this is no joke. At the very top of the dashboard where the leads are, you can sort by ascension or descension. So I went over to last contact, and I am descending from the least recent contact to the most recent. This lead, hello, has not been called in over a year, and they were just active, stand by here, 5 days ago. And they were resurrected from trash. My first 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 leads from least recent contact. The first 6 leads were in trash that we brought back. They're actively looking. And I think, Aaliyah, one of the ones that we had converted over was a second opportunity previously. So let's get the party started. And it looks like this particular one, they were wanting to book an appointment, and this was, July 8th of last year. Yeah. So I don't know if it ever happened. We're just going to make a phone call and see what happens. And to increase the amount of dials that we do make, once that first initial call's been made and we know it's a good number, we only let it ring 4 times, because just think about it. Hello, Emma Beth?
Yeah.
This is Beverly. I'm just checking in. You had been online looking at some property in the Mississauga area?
Property?
Yeah, were you looking at properties online?
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, well, just wondering, what's your situation? Have you found anything?
Not yet.
No? So what's going on? Why haven't you found anything?
We have an agent, so we're working with him.
I'm sorry, you're working with who?
We have an agent. We have agent.
You do? How long have you been working with that agent?
Almost a year.
Okay, so I have to ask. I just have to ask, and this is no disrespect whatsoever. What's happened that you haven't been able to find a home in a year's time frame?
No, we need in Mississauga between 6 and 6:50, so we didn't find what we want.
Gotcha. So as far as making the move, is it something that you're going to have to do, or is it something that you would just like to do?
I didn't understand what you're saying.
Well, just wondering, it's that you've been looking for a year, and it's just kind of concerning to me that you haven't found anything yet. And I don't know what your current living situation is. Do you have to make a move, or is it just something that you would like to do, is buy a home?
No, just something we like to do.
Okay.
To buy a home.
And has the agent really sat down and talked to you about expectations of, if we can't find what we're looking for here, maybe if we loosen up some of the criterias and change expectations, we might be able to find something over here? Have they talked to you about that, or are you just kind of online looking and say, I just want to go see this property when you see something?
No, we are not talking about that, but let's see. I will talk to my husband, and I'll let you know. I have your phone number.
Okay.
So I'll call you.
Emma, that would, we just, it's all about making something happen. And if we can't make it happen, it's okay. What else could we possibly do to make something happen? And I don't want to step on any toes. We just want to make sure that you're maximizing the ability to be able to make the home purchase happen. Okay.
Okay.
Thank you, Emma.
You're welcome.
Bye. Oh my gosh. Okay. So Rhea, come off mute. We got to talk this one out.
There we go.
Okay. Why did I go there? I was probably scaring the bejesus out of some people going, oh my God, she's going there. Don't go there.
You have to go there. You have to find out that information.
Well, here's the reality, right? She has an agent. We lost it anyway, right?
Mm-hmm.
You have nothing to lose. Nothing to lose. There's potential to gain right there, because here's the reality. If you're looking for a freaking year for a house, there's a problem.
Oh, of course.
I just want to know. And when she said, I'll talk to my husband, did I maybe find some pain?
Yes, I definitely heard that in her.
I want to talk to my husband. Like, I think she's sitting there like, why are we still looking? Right?
Yeah, exactly.
And I could probably just about guarantee you the price point. Can we pull Aaliyah over? Let me see. You might have the opportunity, Rhea, see if you can make him a panelist to bring him on live. Because what I want to know, I know that his market is a really great price point. And guys, I'm telling you,
I just did.
This is not just about showing properties. Hey, Aaliyah, how are you? This is not just about showing properties. This is about educating people in the process to say, this is going to happen for you, or you're looking for a unicorn in a pet shop and something's got to change. Aaliyah, tell me about her 6 to 650 and why they probably haven't found anything.
What's the lead's name? Sorry.
It is Emmabet. You know how to spell that, don't you?
No, I don't. I'm a horrible speller.
I'm joking. E-M as in Mary, E-B as in boy, E-T.
Emmabet. Okay, let's take a look. Wow, 439 days ago.
Hey, do you see that?
That's
Little
a long time.
They've seen 290 properties. Oh, boy.
You trashed her.
I know. I feel bad about trashing a lot of
He loves trashing people.
I used to. I don't do it anymore. So just looking at what we have set up for her is I've been trying to get in touch with them. They've been avoiding my calls way before. I've had a good call at one point, and then I just lost them. They weren't communicating much.
Well, because they were working with an agent, obviously,
Right.
as a thug, the agent is not doing their job.
Exactly.
And
it would
I'm
seem
not here
so.
to steal anybody. I'm not here to steal anybody, but the reality is, guys, and I'm gonna preach to the choir here for a second. Again, calling leads is not just about showing properties. Calling leads is about solving their problems, and they obviously have a problem if they've been looking for a year actively.
I agree.
And all I asked was, has the agent sat down and talked to you about expectations? And that's where she said, I need to talk to my husband, because it was a pain point.
It's obvious that whoever is working with them is not doing the best job that they could be doing.
Yeah. And that's where people just want to know the truth. Like, don't just go show properties because they want to go see these properties. Talk to them about, what are your expectations? How many bedrooms? How many bathrooms? What type of condition? What is most important to you, price or location? Because Aaliyah, doesn't it come down to, if they would be willing to adjust their location, they could stay within their price, or if they adjusted their price, they could stay within their location.
Exactly. What I've been doing is also kind of exploring the idea of, if driving to work and from work is a requirement, that they have a timeline that they want to be in there. I try to, move the search out of a particular area in order to reduce the price, but still get them to work in a certain hour that they want to be in. And we've had pretty good luck with that. Kind of moving people from, let's say, if they want to look in the, center of Mississauga, if they can't afford there, let's take a look at, Milton or Brampton, something that would be a similar drive, but make the price happen. And for some people do accept that. Some are stuck on a certain area, but can't afford
but
it.
it's up to us, right, to be honest, to say, if this is what you're stuck on, it ain't going to happen.
Exactly.
It ain't going to happen. And agents will, I've seen it in my market. They spin their wheels and spin their wheels and spin their wheels, and they exhaust. They're busy getting busy. They're showing all these properties, but they never write contracts.
Yeah.
And I'm sorry, but I don't like to waste people's time. And I certainly don't like to waste my time. But if you're upfront and honest with people, that's what gets them off the fence and makes a deal happen.
Exactly.
Okay. So my suggestion is following up with her in a few days. Just to say, hey, I know you talked with one of my colleagues. And I always go to, I don't want to step on any toes. I am not here to take business away from anybody, but my job is to make sure that your needs are met and you get a home, period. And it's up to them at the end of the day if they're going to, I mean, you're not buying a damn pair of shoes here. This is a huge investment in your future. You don't just want any Joe Schmo showing you properties and negotiating for you.
Certainly.
All right, so I'm just going to go ahead and save my note and continue. You're in the system, so you can set up your tasks and whatnot.
Yep.
Look, I got my own little assistant. I love that. I could dial all day long if somebody took my note. I don't like typing notes. That is the worst. But I'll tell you what is worse than typing notes is going back to a lead 3 months later, a year later, and not having the notes there. So the pain is worth the reward to know what's going on. So look, this lead here, active 10 days ago, and they were from 400 days ago. Yay.
And when was the last time they were contacted, Bev?
Oh, let's see. Oh, gee,
God.
that's what it is. All hands on deck, dun, 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 February 2017.
Wow. It's a year. That's a long time.
Well, I think it might be a bad number now because the note says call to follow up and his voicemail said you reached Dominic. And this is what I love, guys. All right, you're going to hear me always, always, always. The very first dial that you make, if they don't answer the phone, let it go to voicemail. And again, I still cannot believe how many Canadians actually have their name on their voicemail versus the people in the United States. Nobody has their name on a voicemail in the United States. It's all automated. I promise you, nobody has their name on their voicemail.
Is it the number you've reached?
Yeah, the blah, 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 the number, yes. No, y'all do what you're supposed to do up there again. So, and I'm wondering, so John is the lead that's registered, but Dominic was on the voicemail. So what am I going to say if somebody answers?
Dominic.
Yes. And he may not be looking. We still may not have a good number. We don't know. And what did we learn about our bad phone numbers? Do you remember what I always say about the bad phone numbers, Aaliyah?
No.
This lead isn't just registered in your dashboard. They're in your competition's dashboards, and they're probably a bad phone number there too.
True.
Most people trash. Yeah, this is the second opportunity. This one was in trash.
Voicemail box of
Dominic.
Eureka. So yes, we have John as the lead, but Dominic on the voicemail. So guys, when you're making a phone call, take a note, because now we're like, hey, Dominic, I saw you were online. He may be like, no, I wasn't online. So
maybe John is his middle name.
it very well could be. But it's those little things that make that big difference when you're trying to connect with somebody. And it was so funny when I met my boyfriend, Brian, pretty basic name. And I was explaining to him like what I did and, you know, exactly what I train. And his given name, his birth name is Philip. But when he gets his phone calls, everything is Philip, right? But he goes, he's never gone by Philip ever. So if someone calls his phone and says Philip, he knows it's a telemarketer. But if you listen to his voicemail, this is Brian. So the next time you call back and you identify him as Brian, he will listen to you, because then he's like, then he's trying to figure out how he knows you. So you call Dominic, he's going to figure out like how the heck, or he's going to be thinking about how the heck does she know me? So I'm going to say voicemail is Dominic. Let's just keep moving on along. This geeks me out. All right, so this lead 324 days ago, it was in trash. They just logged in 13 days ago. And Rhea, ask, when was the last time they were called?
Yep.
All right, this actually wasn't too bad, July. But let's find out.
Almost a year.
Ryan was lecturing me about equations and wasn't really keen to endorsing the call to Leah. He isn't interested at the moment to look at different houses because according to him, the market isn't that stable yet. You gotta love these people. Let me at them.
Hopefully he answers. This will be a fun one.
I love having interesting conversations. I love when people try to tell me what the market's like.
Hello.
Ryan?
Oh, who's this?
Hello, this is Beverly. I'm just doing a check-in. Looks like you've been online looking at some properties in the Mississauga area. I'm just wondering what's going on, what your situation is.
Oh, did I spoke to you last year?
Maybe you may have spoke with somebody. I don't know. If you've been online searching, you may have spoken to a lot of different people.
No. How did you get my number?
You had registered, I'll tell you, 324 days ago, to see some properties online. And you've just been kind of hanging out in our database, looking at properties, and I'm just following up. Obviously, we don't blow up your phone. We don't call you that often.
I know. Oh well, no. It was just last year when we thought of like selling our house and moving, but everything has changed. I don't know. As far as I know, everything just went downhill, right?
Everything like what, Ryan?
What's that?
Everything like what?
Everything went downhill compared to last year because of all the changes and so, right?
Gotcha. So are you putting things on hold? What are your plans?
Well, I guess we have to keep the property until it bounces back, I guess, because we missed the opportunity last year of selling it. We didn't get the offer, and things has all changed throughout the months up to the new year, I guess.
Gotcha. Well, Ryan,
how's the market right now?
Well, let me ask you this question, because in my opinion, the market's all relative. If you sell high, you buy high. If you sell low, you buy low. So I guess my bigger question is, what is the reason for the move?
For the what?
What is the reason that you want to sell and make a move?
No, because I don't know if that really makes sense before. Because I'm trying to strategize things because we are on a condo townhomes, right?
Okay.
So it is our first home. So what I was like thinking at that time, that was like April of last year,
okay,
to sell high, right? To sell high, downgrade into a condo apartment, port the mortgage. We have like a 3.5 because we just bought like in 2015. So when the market spiked last year, I wanted to sell it on high, go on to a condo apartment, hold that apartment for at least 3 years until the mortgage matured. And then from there, if everything's, because I know at that time everything will settle down, and then with all the mortgage rule change, with all the the government, rules in place, things would correct itself. So I was like thinking at the time, well, we could wait until like 2020 and then go back to the market. At least at that time, we could have like opportunity to go back on a townhomes market, freehold, and at the same time have kept, for rent our condo. But it didn't work out.
Got it. So because, that makes sense to me now. How much do you owe on your place right now?
Say again. It doesn't make sense.
How much do you owe on your property now?
We're over here around 298, around that.
And roundabout, what have you seen them sell for? Where you are
right now?
Yeah.
Well, the place it was appraised by Bank of Montreal for 440, right? And the offer that we got from last year was 530, right? I know it's not the right price for it, but we got the price for that. But we didn't sell it. It's simply because my wife likes the place. She doesn't want to move from here. So just to compromise with her at that time, I told her if we couldn't sell the place for 550, the one that's on our neighbor sold for 570, and the one that's on our complex at the time was sold for 515. So I said if we don't sell it for 550, then we would stay. And somebody offered for 530. We went back for 550. They didn't offer back. So
Gotcha.
that's basically what happened.
So I get all that, and all of that makes perfect sense, Ryan. So I'm just going to ask this question as far as if you want to downsize, do you want to downsize what you're paying, or did you want to downsize as far as you just don't need that much space?
No. At that time, the reason why we wanted to downsize is because we wanted to take advantage of the market, right? To sell high. Okay. And then downgrade. Because like what you said, there's no point of, like, let's say if you sell high, you're going to buy high as well.
Right.
If you sell low, you're going to buy low as well.
Right.
So to be able to get out of that scenario, when the spike came in last year in April, I wanted to sell at that point. That's why we put the house in the market. It just didn't work out. And then my strategy is to move down, because we cannot buy high as well. Right. We just can sell high and then buy low or downgrade and wait until everything gets corrected, which is happening right now. Because as per my mortgage broker at that time that I spoke to him, like around like March of last year, he told me it's gonna be messy in a year or two. So that is basically what I'm looking. Sell at that point, or our mortgage. We're just going to be moving into like a small condo apartment, and then the same mortgage, the same term and condition. And then we'll look at it that way until 2020, right? We could live there for the next 3 years and then buy if we could, if everything gets corrected, and then keep the condo for rent, or if we couldn't handle it, then sell it. But it didn't work out that way. That's why I don't know if it's still a possibility at this time, which I doubt it's gonna be, because everything is, correcting its own thing little by little.
So it was more of a monetary strategic move for you, is what you're saying? Is what you were looking to do?
I couldn't say the monetary, because I was like thinking at that time, what's your name again?
It's Beverly.
Beverly, because at that time I was like thinking is it something that's a chance for us to really move up with what's going on with the market? The only way that it could move up if we have so much money
equity
in the bank or whatever that we could like put in, because at that time, like the market goes up and up, but the salary stays the same.
Right.
So there will be no change. So that's what I was like thinking. How can I got to be creative in a way, but it's a risk to take, right?
Yes.
So that's the one that I've been looking at before, but it didn't work out.
Gotcha. And
so,
just what is your interest rate that you have on your mortgage right now?
We have a 2.64.
Okay, so you have a good interest rate.
I'm sorry?
I said you have a good interest rate.
Yeah, it's 2.64 for 5 years.
Yeah.
So it's a fixed 5 years. And the good thing about the one that we have is we could port it. And well, it's just a missed opportunity, because I have to consider, like, I have to put a condition for my wife because she likes the place.
Well, I was just going to say, it doesn't sound like it was a missed opportunity for her, because it doesn't sound like it was a missed opportunity for her because she wanted to stay there anyway, right?
I know, but it's a 40-year-old house. It's a 40-year-old condo. I was like, because the thing is, the main thing is when we bought the place, we were talking if we couldn't move and upgrade in 5 years, we'll give it for another 3 years. And if it doesn't, then we'll stay here for until our kids are big or whatever, for good.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So, I mean, of course, everybody wants to move up. Everybody wants to think of like not not staying on that, level. You wanted to just go and get into, if you can. And at that time, like the market last year, I mean, it's very impossible that we could go to a semi-detached because the gap is so big, right? It's very impossible to jump. We could jump to a townhomes freehold, but it's still like challenging at that time. So I don't know. So how's the market right now? I mean, would you be able to educate me? Because I'm just looking at like some, info over the internet, but I don't have really the details.
Yeah, exactly what's happening with the market. I don't personally, I'm not the licensed agent. I'm like that nurse practitioner. I kind of go and, take.
You are a what?
I call myself the nurse practitioner. Like when you go to the doctor and they take your blood pressure and they measure you, they weigh you. I just find out where you are in the process, and then I call in the expert and say, you know what, Ryan really needs to have a conversation.
You're not a sales agent. You're not a real estate agent.
No.
Oh, I see. Okay.
So what I will do, Ryan, I will have Aaliyah reach out to you and just have a conversation about the market. Aaliyah? Uh-huh.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, that's the website that I'm calling from that you've been looking at properties in. So you've been getting some correspondence from him.
Oh, I see.
Yeah.
I got it.
Yeah, and then that way, I mean, we're not here to just sell you anything, just educate you on the market and just update you as to what the buyers are looking for and what we project is happening in the future, okay?
Yeah, because I mean, like in our complex right now, there's one. Well, they're in deep trouble. That's why they sold it. They only sold it for $398, but it's like a small one. It's a small property. It is a small property.
All
so.
Right. Well, when's the best time for me to have him call you, Ryan?
Well, I guess like on the weekend.
Okay.
Should be good.
You got it. And that's why I said we're not here to just sell you something. We just, just to update you on what's happening with the market. It'll just be good for you to have knowledge of, okay?
All right, no problem.
Ryan, thank you for your time. You have a great day.
Oh, you too.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
All right, break that one down for me, Aaliyah.
So this one has a lot of history, okay? So he mentioned that offer came in at 530. That offer was from me and my buyer wanting to buy his property.
Are you kidding me?
I am not kidding. They countered offer at 550, and we said that there's no way the bank's going to appraise at 550, being the market that it was. People were overpaying. Obviously, it wouldn't appraise. I advised my client to go as much as he could cover the difference, and that was 530. He really wanted a place there, but he ended up not buying there because of the greediness of the seller. And we backed off, right? So after I presented that offer for 530 and got that counter offer, that's when he came in as a lead with a fake email, but the right number. And when I called him first, he had just so much information on our offer. He wasn't saying the details of it, but I knew he was the seller because he knew everything. He just knew too much. So he didn't admit it, but I am almost like 95% positive.
Do you think here a year later he recognized your name whenever I said it?
Of course he would, because he went back and forth. I talked to him several times. He kept calling me at like 11 p.m. at night, that same night that we didn't accept his counter offer. And I told him, I said, look, you're talking about an offer that I made, and I don't feel comfortable talking to you about it. You have an agent. I spoke to your agent about it. Your agent should be communicating with you, and so on. And I gave up on the guy because of that situation.
You put it in the trash.
Probably. Yeah.
Priceless.
Like, who wouldn't put this guy in trash? I'm sorry.
But you know what? I never look at a phone call like that as a waste of time, because I can take something away from it. I can learn from it, because you just get into people's heads and it helps you have better conversations in the future with where
Of course.
thinking, because he's the lay person. He doesn't know anything about the market. And obviously now you know why he upped the price to 550. He probably shouldn't have even been on the market in the first place.
Yeah,
Because it sounds like he was talking his wife into doing something that she really didn't want to do.
exactly.
And now whenever you're faced with, oh my God, we got an offer. Now what? Well, no. What were they on the market for? What price were they on? Were they on for 550?
No, they asked for like 565, 570, which was just almost 100,000 over market value, what it should be at. And yeah, but there was a lot of sales over asking at that time, and they just wanted in. Like he told on the call that you had with him, he said that he wanted to take advantage of that market, but I think they wanted a little too much and it didn't work out. I mean, but I don't think it's a lost opportunity. I think I'll definitely be calling him, and
He may not take your call.
I know.
I don't think so.
I don't think he would, because if he was serious, he would say, let him call me right now.
Yeah.
That's what I think.
This weekend. Well, what I should have done was say, you know what? Let me pull him on the line right now, Aaliyah.
Yeah. I was hoping you'd do that, but I didn't want to.
I didn't want to put you on. Yeah, I didn't want to put you on the hook. That I didn't want to just steer in headlights. I didn't know, but I thought about it.
Oh man, he's a character. He's a character.
But it was a good conversation. I see where he was strategically back then, but and that's why I asked him again. I always peel back the layers of the onion. I got to dig deeper, because I'm like, all right, so you were looking to sell high, but you're still going to buy high. And that's where I was trying to wrap my brain around the process of, he has equity. And what did he say? He owes two something on it?
288. Yeah.
I don't understand. And it's like he wasn't answering my question on why were you wanting to make that move? Because it sounded like it was a monetary strategy.
I think so too. They wanted to take advantage of the ridiculously high sales we had that time, and
but he was going to still be buying high. That's what I don't understand.
well, he was thinking of buying something smaller so they would not spend as much at the time and then try to wait it out. I mean, if you're in that position, it would probably make better sense to sell high, rent for a year, and then buy low if you think that's going to work. But buying again, it's buying high. Yeah.
We're having some great conversations, though. I love this when this happens. All right. I don't even know how many calls. We're going to make it like 3 calls, I think. All right, Mary. She was active 19 days ago. She registered 275 days ago. She was resurrected from the trash. And, she even has a label as cold lead. And
So she could be a warm lead now.
She could be a warm lead. Well, she's actively looking, so I say she's at least tepid. Do not text. It looks like someone, Mary doesn't want to receive calls anymore. That was July 13th. So
that was, yeah.
This could be interesting. What's crazy is I see it all the time. A lead will register and I'll say, please do not call me. And I call them like, oh my gosh, I just saw your note. I'm so sorry. I didn't mean to call you. Mary?
Hello?
Mary?
Yeah.
Hey there, this is Beverly. I just want a quick check-in. You have been looking at homes online for a while in our website, and I just wondered where you are in the process. It looks like you're maybe looking in the Oakville area.
No, I haven't been looking for myself. It's been for someone else.
Oh, okay, gotcha. Are you liking what you're finding, or is there anything that we can do to help?
No, not at this time.
No? All right, Mary. Well, thank you so much. You have a great day.
Bye-bye.
Bye. Why didn't I dig on that one? You're muted, Aaliyah.
Okay. I'm thinking because she's just didn't sound enthused to talk.
Exactly. You've got to really pay attention to what's happening on the other end of the phone.
Yeah.
And I really think that's the big reason why so many people have call reluctance, because you can't see, you can't size up. Yes, Byron, personality type. It's, if she would have been a little bit more engaged, and yes, was I definitely influenced by the last note? I was totally, if that note wouldn't have been there, my mind may have been a little bit different.
Mm-hmm.
But you could hear that she really didn't want to be having that conversation.
Yeah.
So I'm not in the game to piss people off. So she's on here looking. It's obviously been since July since we had the phone call. But now we're a step ahead of the competition, though, because we know why she's looking and we know what has to happen. And on a scale of 1 to 10, the chances of you sitting at a settlement table with whoever she's looking for is like a 2. Maybe even probably a 1.
Yeah.
So we can now place them in, a tag, right? So she's looking for somebody else.
Mm-hmm.
So now this is where we have the opportunity to put her in the aisle of the grocery store and stick her on the shelf. So we're going to move her to contacted so that she comes out of our call filters, because all these in our call filters are all tried to contact. And why are there people that we spoke to and tried to contact? Well, if we try to go through leads one by one by one on trying to figure out who the priority used to be when they were contacted, it takes forever. So by putting them in the tried to contact, when they're actively engaged, they're falling in our call filters and we can work the priority leads first. Because the ones that are inactive, I mean, they're not a high priority. So if you have 50 people that you talked to that got lost in your dashboard because there was no task set, at least this way we can prioritize them based on their activity. So I'm just putting in the notes, not really engaged in conversation. Moving her to looking for someone else. Move her to contacted. Made contact. I still leave the second opportunity tag on there because how cool will it be? Are you working with anybody that we pulled out of the trash? Was there somebody that we converted over for you?
Not yet, but I am working on Nadia still. Nadia is in the process of finishing her pool. And
Does she have a nice house?
Pardon?
Does she have a nice house? Is it a nice place?
It's not bad. It's nice. It's in a not so nice area, but the house is nice. And their pool definitely will make an advantage on their sale. And they like my approach and everything. So I'm thinking that something will happen out of that. I'm hoping that next visit I have with them will be a listing signed. And, yeah.
Wow, you mean it really works whenever you call leads and you follow up?
Yeah, I do. I'm very humbled by the fact that we pulled out so many leads out of trash, and there could have been, a disaster doing that, and it's worked out quite well. I learned a lot from that, and it's humbling too, right?
Yeah. Well, but you're not the only one. Everyone does it. And,
Yeah.
Be glad that everyone does it and you don't, because now, there's no competition because everyone else is trashing just like you were.
Yeah. Well, I'm hoping that I don't look at others as much. Like I'm looking at myself and what I can do to improve myself.
No, what I'm saying as far as your competition.
That's true.
Trashing, it gives you more opportunity.
Yeah. I'm hoping my competition does a lot more trashing than me.
Well, they don't have Bev resurrecting them. If you hadn't met me, you would not have resurrected them, and we would not
at all.
have conversations.
They would have been still in trash.
And here's another one. Here's Spencer. He registered 237 days ago, and he was just in. He was looking at 29 properties, and I don't know why he's in this filter because it was 39 days ago. It's his last active 39 days ago, but he fell in the filter of the last 30 days. So I don't know what tripped him into here.
He may have opened up an email but not looked at a listing.
Possible, yeah.
Oh, so that'll trigger that, which is fine because that to me is active. It's just
And
probably not showing.
Spencer is a lady.
Oh, I haven't looked at the notes yet.
Yeah,
That's
there's
a
a
good
note
note. That's a
from
good
July.
note to note, right? So whenever you have a name that could be either sex, yes, I always
Yeah.
do put that in the notes.
So her and her partner are looking for a 2-bedroom condo. Couldn't talk much at a time, but willing to receive listings. Follow up in 2 days. I did, but nothing. I had no conversation after.
Let's see what we can make happen.
Okay.
So do you like the glasses? It had been years since I went to the eye doctor, and I go there and she's like, yeah, you're pretty much legally blind in one eye to drive and you can't see out of the other. She goes, do you really have to leave here driving? I'm like, yeah. Are you saying I need glasses?
Well, they look good.
So here I am with glasses. It's been years since I had glasses.
Doesn't the world look different to you?
Oh my gosh, I told my eye doctor, I'm like, oh, it's like 3D. She's like, Beth, that's how the rest of the world looks. She goes, I don't know how you were functioning. I said, well, you don't know what you don't know. So that was a 28-second dial. We really only let it ring once we know we have a confirmed number. And I was getting to this before, but somebody answered the phone previously. If your phone rings, your cell phone, if it rings 5 times, are you pretty annoyed by the time you get to it if you can't get it to end the call fast enough?
Right.
Mm-hmm.
I don't want to catch somebody that's scooping their baby up out of the car, grabbing a bag of groceries. It's not going to be good timing. And, you get more callbacks on people that are, hey, I just missed a call from this number, than you do letting it go and leaving voicemails. I promise you. And you can get through way more dials and get to the people that are answering the phone.
So if you look at Beth,
Oh, hang on.
is she unsubscribed in August of last year, but she looked at a listing on the website 7 hours ago, and she looked at it 87 times.
Is she in a filter? Beth isn't next in my queue. Jenna is next in my queue.
Okay.
If I search.
I'm in BBC 3.1.
I am too. Hang on, let me just go back to.
So Bev, it seems like lots of the panelists agree. They also hate listening to their voicemail.
You know what? I did a poll. It was 2 years ago because I was just trying to figure out like how many people actually listen to their voicemails. But the question was how many people don't answer the phone if they don't know who the number is. And that was like 80% of the people don't answer their phone if they don't know who the number is. And then I asked how many people listen to their voicemail and listen to it the whole way through. Because I was trying to prove a point, right? Nobody, 0% listen to the voicemail the whole way. Listen, like if someone leaves you a voicemail, Rhea and Aaliyah, do you listen to the whole way to the end?
Almost never.
I'll be honest, I don't ever check mine. I just look at the number. So,
And you know that? Yes.
and then I'll email you back and say, hey, you called.
Or you text, hey, I just missed
Or
a call.
you text, exactly.
Absolutely. And you figure by the time that it goes to voicemail, you're talking, it could be anywhere from 30 to, get this, a minute and 30 seconds before you get a voicemail. And then if you're leaving a voicemail, that's another, like, dear God, some people like leave like their whole life history before you even leave the voicemail. You're talking 3 minutes a lead. I don't have that amount of time, 23 seconds, man. The only time I let it go the whole way to voicemail and listen to their voicemail is to determine if there's a name on the other end of the phone, to know if I have a good number or if it's a different name, or like Aaliyah just said with Spencer. Spencer is a girl. It's good information to know. So I don't have time for that.
So stop leaving voicemails, guys.
Yes. Takes two. And you know what? That's saying, hey, I'm an agent. Block my number because I know you don't want to talk to me.
Exactly.
Don't tell them who you are. And I don't see Beth. All right, I'm going to search Beth. You called her 13 days ago? Are we talking about the same Beth?
Probably not.
Second opportunity. She was a second opportunity too, though.
It's Beth. Last four numbers are 5400.
Yeah, that's her.
Last contacted 13 days ago, maybe by email. I didn't call.
It says, it says you did. Maybe I did. Maybe last week I did.
Maybe.
March 7th. Well, maybe last time I dialed, March 7th, I tried calling her. That may have been me. She unsubscribed last October. So she was in trash. She unsubscribed. She was in 3 hours ago, and she's 235 days registered. Oh, hello, Beth. This, folks, is how we get the conversion ratios up, because it's internet leads will never, ever do business with you out of loyalty. It's going to be out of convenience. If you're there at the most convenient time.
Hello?
Beth?
Yes?
Hey there, this is Beverly. Just on a quick check-in. Looks like you have been online looking at some properties in the Oakville area and just wondered what your situation is and kind of what you're looking for.
Oh, actually, I haven't been looking at any properties in a long time.
Okay, well, Beth, I have an email address. It's angelfish26. Is that you?
Yes, it is.
Okay. So well, it just popped up in our system that you were actively looking. So does someone else have access to your account maybe?
I don't know. I got an email yesterday that I had purchased an iPhone X. So I don't know if somebody's playing with my account right now.
Maybe. Yeah, because it's showing that you were just looking at some properties a few hours ago. In the Oakville area. So
no, I haven't even been on my email account or even on my internet today.
Yeah, you might want to change some passwords. I mean, it's no big deal. We don't have any information other than, you're looking at some homes in Oakville, but not. So you're not looking to make a move at all, Beth?
No, I'm not. I wish I was. I wish I was moving back to Oakville. Oh my gosh, that's scary.
Yeah, if you got some other weird message, I would. When was the last time you changed your password on your email account?
Oh, a long time ago.
Yeah, it might be time to do that.
Oh my gosh, that is scary.
Well, I promise we're not taking any information. We just wanted to sell you a house. But if you're not buying, we can't help you. What's that?
My name came up?
Yeah, I have Beth. Yeah, I don't have a last name. It's just, you're just Beth.
Really, eh?
Yep, it looks like, oh gosh, it was back in July. It looks like you had registered.
But it came up today, a printout?
Yeah, it just shows that the account was active, that there was activity on, that you were looking at like 9 properties.
Oh my gosh.
Yep. Yep. So I'll just make a note in here that you're not buying, and we won't call you again, but I'm going to suggest changing your password, Beth.
Okay, I better do that right now.
All right, darling. You have a wonderful rest of the day.
Thank you so much for phoning.
You're welcome. Bye-bye.
Okay, bye.
Good karma, right?
Yeah, poor Beth. I feel horrible for her.
I don't know if I believe her.
You don't think so?
I don't believe her.
Well, you know what? She did say, though, that she got an email that she purchased an iPhone. So who knows?
Who knows?
I mean, you really can't make that up.
I don't know.
So here's where I'm gonna go on a little tangent. We got 5 minutes left, and then I'm gonna leave you all with my tangent. I just did a training the other day, and the agent on the other end, so she's the lead manager. She's calling new leads. We're obviously calling leads as well. And we are adamant about not creating our own objections. And what do I mean by that? when I make a phone call, and I know, Aaliyah, you said what a difference it was making. When we make a phone call, it's, hey, Beth, I saw that you were online looking at some properties in the Oakville area. Just wondering where you're in the process. I don't say who I am. I don't say where I'm from. I don't say which website it is, because frankly, they don't care.
I don't care.
Where the other agent that's dialing, she's right away saying the company name. They are Zillow leads. And she says, when would you like to set up a time to go see this property? Everybody that she's talking to thinks they're talking to the listing agent. And they ask immediately, are you the listing agent? No, we're not. We represent the buyer. Okay, well, I want to talk to the listing agent. Okay, bye. So we're on, it's me and her with the owner of the platform that we're working in. And I said, we've listened to some of your conversations, and I just want to make a suggestion on your opening line. We need to be careful of not creating our own objections. And she says, well, everybody wants to work with a listing agent. And I said, that's kind of funny, because we have about 1 out of 10 people that we can't convert over, because all we do, I call and I say, hey, I see you're looking at properties and yada, yada. And I saw you're online looking, and they're like, yeah, I was. And I'm like, well, tell me where you're in the process. Well, we're going to an open house. We're doing this, we're doing that. Don't even talk about the property.
Parties.
But in her mind, everybody is a bad lead that wants to talk to the listing agent, because she's created that objection. And when I do trainings and I have an agent that would get this phone call right here, I have had agents come back to me and tell me everybody in my dashboard isn't looking. Because you know what they do? They get shut down, because it's so much energy to get up the ambition to make that phone call, and then you make that phone call and it's just confirmed what they were already feeling. See, the leads do suck. Why should I keep calling anymore? Because every lead in my dashboard is like this, and they give up. That's my tangent. I promise you, I promise you, I promise you. It's not every lead, it's one. And I have not had that conversation. I make hundreds of dials a day. I have not had that conversation ever. And I've had conversations with people I never logged in. And that's why, again, I dig a little bit deeper and say, well, so I wanted to confirm the email address, because I'm like, I'm going to call the bullshit card, because I'm serious. Like, I'm looking at it. I'm looking at it. And that's why I say, does anybody have access to your account? Because sometimes it's a husband, sometimes it's a child that doesn't even live at home. And she just may not be thinking about, oh yeah, that long lost kid that I gave the email account to is online looking. I'll guarantee you she probably gave her password out to somebody somewhere at some point, because she's had the account forever and a day. And it just, who knows? But reality is, I'm just saying, people, don't say every lead in your dashboard has a bad phone number or doesn't want to look or is just looking. Mm-hmm. You just have to dig a little bit deeper and ask better questions.
I agree. It's the question skills. I hear it from our clients all the time, that all of the emails are fake, all of the phone numbers are fake, and then I go in and they're not even trying. Right? There are, and you know what? There are people who are going to give fake numbers, but there are people who are going to give you their real contact information. Focus on those ones.
Mm-hmm. Well, and the bad phone number people, hello, you don't want to call them anyway. Put them on an automatic email campaign.
And you're good to go.
And try to get the number. And that's what we were talking about earlier. Your competition are trashing the bad phone numbers. Hello, you have no competition with your bad phone number leads, because they're in your competitors' dashboards in the trash bucket. I promise you that they were in Aaliyah's trash bucket.
Oh, yeah.
All right, so we just now, what is beautiful about that filter, we had 54 people in the filter. We just pulled out, how many conversations did we have? At least, 4 or 5?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I would say you did 6 calls and had some good conversations.
That's some really bad stats right there.
But you had some really good conversations, and I think it was, Ryan, who took up a big part of your time?
Yeah, Ryan did. But in my opinion, that was a phone call. I was getting as much out of that conversation, if not more, than he was.
Oh, for sure.
And I just like to, everybody's a science project. I just got to figure people out. I don't like to waste my time on calls, but once in a while, if they're engaged, it's a good conversation. I will keep it going just to ask questions because I just got to, again, peel back those layers. Because I always want to know, it ain't over until the fat lady sings. You don't get a tag until the fat lady sings, until I know that there's not a bat's chance in hell that my agent is going to be able to do business with you. So that was my tangent. So next week, we are actually going to be talking about working with some of the inactive leads and what do we send them to activate them, bring them back into the system, because we have that's usually the biggest portion of our database are the leads that are inactive. And guys, I know I have quite a few of you that are in the VIP, and we have so much fun in our Facebook Messenger. And it seems to get really busy on the weekends. I don't know if that's when the agents are working in their platform, but I love the questions. I love just helping you all learn and has it helped you with your filters and understanding your filters, Aaliyah?
Yes, of course.
Awesome. So again, just go to Beverly Balance Business or balancebusinessconsulting.com and Agent Locator, and we'll post it back in the Agent Locator again to give you the coupon code for it. But it's just been a ton of fun, and we'll see you back in 2 weeks.
2 weeks. Yes.
Yes. Awesome. Have a fabulous day, everybody.
You too.
Have a great day, guys.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.